I'm just about to do some casting work, so let's just get this all set up. So I'm in my workshop on my own as usual, and I'm trying to get started, but I'm a little disorganized. So today I've got to fix an issue. My messy workshop, oh God, I just don't even have the time to clean this up. So anyway, I'm going to get started. Where am I going to start? Oh God. Okay, first of all, I need to find something to mix my silicone tubs in. I'll just set you down here. There we are. So this is the boring bit. I've just got to get some stuff organised a minute. So this is just me in the kitchen. I need to find, these are all my dirty tubs that I need to clean and whatever, and I haven't got around to doing it. I need a 100ml mixing tub. Damn. 100 mils. Where are my beakers? I've lost my beakers. Okay. I have no idea where my beakers are. Ah, no. Ugh. Okay. Oh, there's a beaker. Okay. Alcohol. I haven't had a chance to clean anything up. I normally clean everything at the end of the day, reset it for the next day so that I can start. But last night I was working on advertising campaigns and I didn't have a chance to clean up. So, yeah. I'm doing everything on my own, making, developing, advertising, marketing, and I really hate marketing because the product that I'm putting out there is a really sensitive subject. It's a social wound. And I've invented this vaginal device to help people with a lot of their psychosexual and physical sexual dysfunction. And it started because, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It started because I just had enough of living the way I was, and I decided to find a way of fixing it, bringing it to life. So these are a few of the abandoned prototypes. And what it is a flexible plug that's hollow. Yeah, this is the small size. And it has a through opening. This one was too tight, this one was too stiff. So it failed because it was too thick. And I have to make it thinner than that so that it's, properly flexible and comfortable. So you crush it up, fold it up, and insert it like a bud. So it crushes down to like about a 1-inch diameter. Insert it, and then this on the outside protects you, cushions you, and it also psychologically overcomes your mental barrier to the impression of the way you look. So I've got different designs that do different things. This one goes over the pubic mound, the pubis. This one is designed to be a depth buffer because these flexible lips here stop him going in too deep. This was a prototype plug which is too heavy, and I have since remodeled it to be hollow. with no, because this was full of like polymer balls. So it's really squishy and it opens nicely and it feels nice all the way through. Yeah, this one is a dainty little alien with a really nice opening. It's really stretchy and really soft and flexible, and it pops open because it's got this special ribbing that goes on the inside, so you can feel it both sides. And yeah, anyway, it took me a lot of tries and fails. I love this color scheme. It took me a lot to get it right, and to get it right meant that even though I had designed it and sculpted it, I had to test it to see if it felt right and if it gave me the sensation I was imagining in my fantasies. And that was hard because I am naturally not inclined to do any intimacy, so it was tough, it was painful. I think I was so raw, I went to the doctor and got some creams to help me along. So it's a deeply personal project of mine, and I did this to solve a problem for myself that I know intimately, deep down, a lot of us suffer with. But for those that don't suffer with it, it's very controversial, and it's caused me a lot of social media headaches and stress that I don't want to deal with, because I just want to do my art and heal myself and put it out there for people who want it. But it takes a lot. This isn't just a sex toy. This is a therapeutic device. So it's squishy and it enables you to work those muscles. It enables you to crush down when you're spasming and not hurt yourself and not bruise yourself, which is a problem that I have. For whatever reason, I get triggered and I spasm, and if there's anything hard in me, I will bruise myself from the amount of crush. There's one of the original sculptures, this way around, and from the original sculpture I make loads of molds, and they're all in different stages. So for example, this is the mold stages I go through. I make these master molds and sub-masters, originals, defects, and no longer functional. Then I make these resin versions for multiple molds. So this is going through a process of mold making. So there are all these molds in their original phases, in their second phase, their resin phase. And then, yeah, anyway, I'll get back to what I was doing. Is the cup clean? Is it clean? Yeah. I've got to make sure that I clean it, otherwise the silicone will inhibit and not cure. So I have done that, and I ended up with a big gooey mess that didn't cure. And that was a waste of 24 hours, a waste of a whole day. So, I mean, another thing is I can speed cure it, and I've been doing that with a hairdryer, but that causes things to expand and air bubbles and all kinds of nightmares. So I have to do it uniformly with a heating mat, and I have to wire those together now. So these are all the heating mats I got, and I need to wire them in to the bases of the molds so that I have homogeneous temperature and none of this warping and you know, failures and quality issues. Anyway, I've got my beaker kind of clean. It's not very. So I'm just gonna get this going. Actually, I need to make sure I'm ready to paste this stuff on. Oh, I need a spatula. Hang on. Spatula. Okay, this will do. Right. So, I'm only going to use about 100 grams of this silicone. Is it clean? Is it? Yeah. the alcohol's gone, because that will inhibit it. It will turn it into a gooey mess that won't cure. Okay, so I have to take 30 grams off, which it will do automatically. And yeah, okay, let's get some. Oh, okay. Oh, crap. No, stop. Way too much silicone. Okay, that's it. Right, that's more than enough, so I'll see how much I can use. Okay, so this is 93. Ooh, crap. I'm dropping shit everywhere. Right, 93. I write down all my usage because I calculate how much silicone I'm using, average it out so I know how much is going into the product, but during the development phases it's all wasted anyway. It's like, you know, and I use different types of silicone, so I tabulate that as well. So 93 is 9 grams, 102. Okay. Oh God. I got pipettes here for accuracy, but oh well. I'll just have to pour it right. 101, 102. Excellent. Okie dokie. Right. So I've developed a molding system for these products that I'm making, and it has to be super accurate and allow a skin thickness of no more than 2 millimeters, but it has to be a flexible mold so that you can pull the mandrel out from the product, because if it was a solid mold you'd endanger destroying the product. So I have to make it a completely hollow mandrel that's squishy, and I can even put a hole in it to let air out so that I can compress it down and pull the mandrel out. So the system works, but the mold making is critical, because if I don't do that well, one bubble of the silicone in the liquid will cause a leak. You know, it will cause a porosity, because if the skin's only 2 millimeters thick, you can imagine it's under a lot of stress. It's taking all the wear and tear that you don't have to take, or I don't have to take. So a 1 millimeter bubble in a 2 millimeter skin is a weakness point and a place where it can tear. So I've developed an injection molding system made of homemade syringes and a mold assembly, a 5-part mold assembly that has to be crimped together, and a part of it is flexible and it still has to allow for a 2 millimeter skin thickness with no bubbles, so it has to have all the venting. And yeah, so anyway, I've mixed this up and I've made way too much, and I'm gonna coat these molds I've made. The ones I'm gonna show you today they're a little unusual. Most people have a standard mold making procedure that's like a flexible liner and a hard shell. I'm having to do a strange assembly that's like a glove molding, which is supposedly like a thin skin of flexible rubber followed by a hard outer casing. Well, I'm actually doing something that's probably not listed anywhere before as a technique, but it's something I adapted. So I'm making the flexible, collapsible inner mandrel, and it's surrounded by a stiffened silicone jacket that can split and peel off and hold its shape. And yeah, so I have to mold all of that into the jacket, and the only way I can do that is to build this complex mandrel, which I'll show you in a minute. Right, okay, I think that's mixed enough now. So let's take you and show you the mandrels. Right. Okay. So this is my Protocasting machine. It's called, it's actually a rotocaster for people that are making hollow molds or thin skin molds, or thin skin product. And I need it because I'm making thin skin molds and mold jackets. So yeah, anyway, this is made by a minority owned company who's mostly Asian, like me, which is cool. And, you know, also mostly female owned business. So fellow entrepreneurs, like, shout out here. And so the company is called Crumple or something, but the machine is called a Protocast. So it's like the homemade DIY version of a rotocaster, because I just couldn't afford to upgrade to an industrial one that was going to take up all this room. And this was just pretty light, inexpensive, and I was setting up the business at the time, and one of my patrons bought it for me as a present. So thank you so much, Gavin Fox, because this has been a lifesaver. This has been essential for me to develop my product. So let's get on and show you this thing. I've actually butchered it and taken it apart because I've overused the machine and burned out the motor more than once, and it's just got to the point now where I need to beef the whole machine up, and yeah, just, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to send the maker of the machine some problems that I'm having that hopefully she can help me diagnose, and then I'll just be able to get the parts and go and do it. But it's purely because I'm really overusing the machine. I'm like running it for hours at a time. This stuff doesn't cure quickly. It takes an hour to set, to gel, and it's still slumping. Even after an hour, it still slumps, so you still have to keep moving it. Otherwise, you end up with like chunks of heavy resin on one side of the mold. So yeah, it's been difficult. So I'll just show you quickly now. I've just replaced the motor, but I've nearly burned this one out because all the gearbox oil is coming out. Okay, right. So what we've got here is, these are the sculptures of the mandrels that go into the device that I've made. Okay, so I don't want to touch it, I'm kind of gooey already, but okay, this is a prototype that went wrong. So this is the egg size, and there's another size there called Bell, which is based on the prototype that went wrong, but there was a demand for this size and this comfort because it's just such a nice texture inside. So I went ahead and made that with a new ribbed skeleton, so it's all light and everything, right? So there's Bell, and there's Egg, and the molds are completely hollow, but to do that, I've had to kind of, this comes apart, it's a split mold, and the mandrel goes inside, and I've injected it and rotocasted it, so you have like a hollow squishy egg on the inside that I can just puncture and collapse down and pull out. And then over the top of it, there's a jacket, and these plastic edges you can see here, these form the flanges for the silicone to maintain rigidity and not lose the tolerance, and also as a place where I can cut it open and crimp it shut so that it maintains its shape even when I pressurize it, which is really cool. So you can see I've kind of, I wonder if I can zoom in and show you, hang on, turn it around, zoom in, okay. So, which is hollow, and it's set on the mandrel thing, this plastic flanged thing. So the flanges, there's actually 6 flanges in this tunnel to allow it to expand when penis goes in. And that is my patent pending design on the inside. So anyway, these flanges I've cut and I've just embedded it into this sponge, and this whole thing grips into the Protocaster really well. And these sponges, they're really cool. They're so cheap, and I actually use magic sponges or stain removing sponges. They're made of cellulose. They're cellulose sponges. So they're really light, they're super light, and they're really grippy, so nothing slips out. I've had loads of accidents where this machine has literally thrown my molds out and I've just lost silicone everywhere and had to start over. So these are really grippy, so I don't need to over tension the plates. And another thing with these sponges is that they are, how can I put it? They are, let's see. So I buy them, and they're called magic sponges because they're actually made for stain removal, right? Stain erasing sponges. Don't know if you can see that. Stain erasing sponges. So you use them in the bathroom, on the shower windows, and on the sinks and bath, and it's really good at removing like all the crap, but they eventually dissolve as you use them. And it's because they're cellulose and they're brittle, so you can cut them like an oasis, and it's great. They really help me to hold this stuff in place. I've tried everything from rubber sheets to silicone moldings to grip it in place, but honestly, when these things are heavy, you need to have a broad general area of high friction to hold them in, because otherwise the mold will just fly out. It's like, and I've also, because I'm working with a really viscous resin, I have to run it at a really slow RPM, because otherwise the weight slumps to one side and it kicks over and it will throw itself out the mold. So I have to run it at a really slow RPM. So I changed the gear motor to, what's it? Let's see. So this is a 30 RPM motor, gear motor, right? So it's scaled down about half the speed of the standard Protocaster, but because I am using it on such slow speed, it requires high torque, and that makes the overheat, the motor overheat, and the gearbox oil is just squirting out. So I'm going to replace that. I've just ordered a ultra slow gearbox motor, which is 5 RPM, which is probably more suitable, but it's got more torque on it. And I want to ask for the machine manufacturer's help with solving the issues that I've had with burning out my machine. Because it's just suffering wear and tear. I can't do my work without it. So what I'll do is I'll do the coating on these molds now, and so I'll do that. Okay. Oh, right, okay, this is where I need to be taller than I am because I'm only a short Asian. Okay. And I could put the phone up, I could put it up here actually, and then, nope, so, no, okay, just like that, okay, right. I don't want to get the stuff on the phone, but anyway, you might be able to see what I'm doing, and Yeah. Oh God, I need a stool. Oh, hang on, I have got the stool. Oh. And then, oh, so my kitchen is totally dedicated to this now. I can't do any kitchen work because I just have to, anyway. So I'm just going to coat these molds with some silicone and I'm not going to put too much on. I'm just going to get this first coat on so that it's evenly coated. And then what I tend to do after is I put a layer of stiffened silicone on it so that the mold can still be flexible, but it will hold its accuracy. So, because the soft silicone is really for contact only, and I have to layer over it some stiffer silicone to maintain accuracy in the thickness or whatever. So anyway, this stuff is leaking everywhere now, so I'm going to start it off, and I'm actually going to focus it on the issue that. So I'll stop it at a point where I can just get the other side coated. Oh God. There we go. Honestly, this machine is so cool. It's like space training for your hamster. So, hey, let's try and get this side coated. So I'm only doing a contact layer to pick up the detail first of all. Oh God. This is so messy. And you know, when I was first doing this, I wanted this to cure quickly, so I stuck the hairdryer on it. And it just, oh my God, like things were exploding and things were overheating and the skin was going wrinkly. So yeah, I went through lots of experiments to try and get the quality right and try and get it to cure quicker, but nope. Right, okay, let's put this on again. Should call this machine the space hamster, because it's for space training your hamsters. Right. So while that's going, I'm going to make another mold for my adapters. Fit into the mold casings. So I have made way too much silicone here. I'm going to use it up. Normally what I do when I've got leftover silicone is I dump it all over molds that need coating. And I also, see this layer here? This is an exactly 1.7 millimeter thick layer of silicone that has self-leveled using, here's the problem. This is what I wanted to point out. Okay, so this is the problem I'm having with the machine. Okay, so I turned it off, and if I was to try and knock it over, it wouldn't. So, you know, and I could try knock over, but it won't. So I turn it around the other way. And it's spinning quite a bit. I think whatever it is, it's not gripping in here. The axle is just spinning through until it bites. I think there's something happening in there. So I'm gonna have to take this machine apart and upgrade the joints, because I think what's happening is that there's too much friction in the whole thing due to probably me over tensioning shit, I don't know. And it's burning out the motor because I'm running this at slow speeds, and I really need to run it slower than this. Because, you know, when I'm pouring silicone, it's kind of a gentle, like chocolate making, you know? You can't really work super fast with it because otherwise you end up with a lumpy surface. So I got that on camera and it was 31 minutes, so great. I will send that to her and maybe she can help me solve the problem and get the parts I need just up the road from a place called Granger. So, and I'm dreading taking this apart because I need this so much. I need it like every day. So every day without my machine is a nightmare. Right, where was I? I was going to pour another mold. Right. God, it's suffering. You can hear it. Right, so this isn't going to make much sense. I'm going to show you what I'm doing anyway. This is some of the detailed bits that I have to put into the molds I make. Won't make sense, but I have to get on and do it anyway. So what I've got here is a mold for making an adapter, out of which comes this part, this component of resin that lays into my mold, and what it does is it provides a perfect point of assembly for the flexible mold. So I'll drill metal crimps into it so that I can hold the mold down, peg it into place, and this mold is lined with a 1.7 millimeter thickness skin, which once it's been like coated and, you know, joined and everything, it's about the 2 millimeters because you've got the air gap in there due to, you know, just smoothing over the joins and everything. So yes, anyway, where's my tub of goop? So I have to make another mold because this thing here, when I'm casting resin adapters, it tears up. It just, you know, it's the resin is sharp. It's like pulling bits of glass out of it. So I have to polish those off and finish them up and get the tolerances nice and even. And this one just has to be remade. So that's what I'm doing now. So this is a trick I've found that works really well. When I'm casting these molds, I do a really thin streak, really thin, and then I don't get any bubbles. Nope. Oh God, it's stalled again. Oh crap. See, while it's stalled like this, the motor burns out. So you can see it's not gonna move over. It's completely stuck. So I'm gonna stop it and then turn it the other way. So that was at 34 minutes. So the babysitting time is now every 4 minutes. Every 4 minutes while I work. So my new gear motor is arriving today, but unfortunately I don't have the couplings for it because it's a new thickness shaft. So I won't be able to install it today. So I'm going to wait until the manufacturer gets back to me about the components I need to fix this machine and then order the rest of it from up the road. Oh, no, that's too thick, damn it. Right, so once again, I'm pouring it in really, really thin so that there's no bubbles. I have to be really patient with this stuff. And this is why the only resins, silicone resins I use are the long pot life. I prefer to be patient rather than stressing about when it's going to run out of time to cure. So I always go for the 1 hour pot life resins or silicones or even liquid plastic, you know. always the 1 hour versions because my work needs to be really accurate. There mustn't be any bubbles, and I don't have pressure or vacuum chambers to prepare my resin. So I'm using this method to degas my silicone. And another method of degassing my silicone on this small scale is to use syringes, because as you pull the resin up through the syringe, it degasses automatically. And then when you squirt the syringe in a very thin and narrow opening, it degasses because of the pressure. So yeah, syringes are great, but they have given me very sore hands. I think my thumb feels like it's dropping off at night. Right. You can see, I'll give you a close-up on this, you can see that there is no bubbles in this mold. It's going to be nice and clear. Takes a bit of time, but I'm good with that. I like the slow work because it's relaxing, because I am a person who has been through a lot of trauma, and I find this work really satisfying, and it's just for my soul. I love it. It teaches me calm and patience, which is something that I find very, very difficult. I'm triggered too easily, and because I'm touching on the subject of sexuality that is a social wound, it leaves me open to misinterpretation, miscommunication, triggers, misogyny. Oh my God, I can't cope with it. I just can't cope with it. I hate marketing. So I just want to retreat into my kitchen, workshop, lab, hole, and just play. Knowing that every one of these sculptures that I'm making, whether it's for a woman or a AFAB means assigned female at birth, or a trans woman, can overcome mental blocks that are painful, physically painful and psychologically painful. And the problem is, to an audience who doesn't understand this, they think I'm selling it as a pain solution, but that's only part of the solution. 80% of it is psychological. It's dysphoria, which is a form of dysmorphia, like a sexual dysmorphia, where you are literally uncomfortable with your own genitalia or the way you were born. And I suffer with that because I have been so traumatized. It's hard for me to accept myself because it's a symbol, it's an ongoing symbol of feeling dirty and, oh God, it's done it again. Okay, I have to run. Right, okay, so it's just rolled again. So I'm just gonna flip this over. You see it's spinning here before it grips. So that's 40 minutes. So that was 6 minutes. It managed to go 6 minutes this time. The problem is, while I'm using the Protocast, I can't go out into the cutting room and do any of the dirty work. So I can't do any polishing, I can't do any of the slow work. I have to stay in here and cast. Ooh, okay. Something just fell out. Okay, let's stop this. Okay, so problem here. Oh no, okay. It's a normal range of disasters. Okay, not a big deal. But no, other way. Okay. Oh God, no. Nope. Okay, right. That's fine. So I need to tighten this down more. I've got to find my flanges, bits of plastic, and oh look, they're stuck all over the machine. So that goes there. Oh no. As usual for me. Where's my flange gone? Got to look for the machine. The flanges are invisible and my eyesight's really crap. So this is going to be interesting. It all flew out and I can't see because my eyesight's really poo. Hang on, where? Okay, so let me just pop this, I'll just stick that there for now. I've got to look for the flange. So, oh, there it is. Ah, oh God. So, oh no, where's the other sponge? Where's the other sponge? Oh, it's down here. Got it. Right, okay, so I need to crush this down more. I think what's happened is because I've done some casting, it's just, what do you call it? So where is the slot? I can't, it's that side, okay. So I'll pop this in here. So this is the problem I have with things flying out of the Protocaster. Right, low power mode. I mean, when I was completely new to this, this was scary. When this shit happened, I was just so upset. So, right, okay, I have to reload this. And so what I'll do is, I think I'll tighten it down or up. I'll tighten it up. Right, so that means, where is my, okay. I need to get decent spanners. I need just a flat open wrench. This is adjustable and it's a pain actually. So if I need to go that way, okay, try this side. Oh God. Come on. Got it. Okay. Let's see, move it up a little bit. Ooh. I'll give it another coat of silicone because it's all running off. It's really messy. I mean, normally with the rotor casting, you would be coating everything on the inside of the mold, but I'm doing inside and outside, and it's just really messy. But that's okay. Artists, I'm an artist and engineer, so mess doesn't bother me. In fact, mess is my middle name. I just can't seem to get organized. I'm actually, I've been diagnosed with ADHD, so the way I live is just a constant mess anyway. But the medication really helps. It helps me to kind of keep on going and not get distracted, because I get so distracted so easily and I forget what I'm doing in the middle of doing it, blah, blah, blah. Right, okay. Okay. Just pop it in there. Okay, slide it in. Okay. Ugh. and I'm gonna have to coat another layer of the contact silicone, and then I do the thick heavy layer of the hard silicone. Right, so now we're going to tighten this up because I want to get the weight of this thing balanced with the axis, which you can see it's horizontal there from this point. So I need to move the weight up a bit more to even out the rotation, so it's not kind of swinging over and flipping over with its weight and momentum. So, okay, tightening upwards. Which way? Okay, I need to go that way. So, I had this thing all set up before, but I think what happened was I was taking them out and in, and it gradually just compressed the sponge a bit more. So, not a big deal, but let's see. Okay. God, I do hate these wrenches. I got them because I thought, oh, they'll be handy, cover every size, but they're actually a pain. I really need a lab monkey, you know? I need someone here with me to help me keep my shit together, because like I'm always forgetting what I'm doing and getting distracted, and I just need someone to help keep me organized. But I am so happy now, honestly, because in the corporate world, I thought I was doing well, but people didn't like me. They thought I was, I don't know, weird or something, and it reflected badly on me. It was painful to be a part of that. It was bullying, essentially. It was, you know, because I didn't have the understanding from people, I was treated like crap. And they don't think it's bullying, but it's just insensitive misogyny. So, oh, wrong way. God. So, this resin, it's been, what, we're 49 minutes in, and it's still flowing all right, you know, it's still running all over the place, which is fine. But if I was doing this with a 15-minute pot life, I wouldn't be able to do it. I need the long pot life. So, right. Another thing about the contact layer being in the softer silicone is that when I take the mold apart, I have to turn it inside out over itself. And the softer silicone allows me to do that without tearing and becoming brittle over itself. This takes me too long. Hey, I would really appreciate it if Protocast, for their machines, actually put in part of their package a quick spanner, quick wrench for this, because I went and bought my own, and honestly, these things, the tolerance between them, you see that? It's not flat, and it just gets in the way. It's just stupid. Right, okay, I'm gonna try and get this up a bit. Oh, so this is my new life. I was 3 years after I quit my career, from all the bullying nonsense and misogyny nonsense and abuse at work and just nasty mobbing, male environment, disrespect, assault, sexual harassment and assault. I just burned out. I had a complete mental breakdown. Understandable, right? I was living in a nightmare. And because of my visual interpretation of emotions, I am a very visual person. I don't understand emotions as you do. Like, you can speak your emotions in so much vocabulary and subtleness, and I can't do that. I'm sort of like, I don't know what I'm feeling, but it feels bad. Or there's a buzzing sensation and I'm not sure I like it. I don't really know if it's good or bad. So, but what happens to me is that visually at night, especially, my dreams tell me what those emotions are through imagination. So it conjures up situations and ideas to let me know how I was feeling in the world and how to develop through the problems I'm having by using these dreams. And that gave me a skill, it gave me a gift, but it also meant that while I was being bullied and I was going through all this trauma and fear, and I didn't know it was trauma and fear, I was not sleeping. My body had no way of interpreting those emotions. So the visual side of my emotional interpretation started manifesting during the day, and they became like schizophrenic hallucinations during the day, which wasn't like uncomfortable, because I was familiar with it, because that's me, that's my world. It can be a little, you know, if you were to swap heads with me, get me out of this head, right? But it's my gift, and that is the way I interpret how I'm feeling. Unfortunately, these monsters in the background were telling me I should be scared. I should be really freaking scared and anxious, and I just couldn't work it out. I just, you know, and worse and worse things started happening, like the walls were breathing in time with me and warping, and just things in the shadows started moving like tentacles, and I was like, yep, my nighttime dreams are manifesting during the day. Something's really wrong. And then I had a bunch of seizures and burned down and lost my ability to talk. Now I'm talking loads. I'm talking loads because I'm happy, but I'm talking to myself. It's like when I went mute, I couldn't talk to anyone. I just couldn't talk. And for some strange reason, I could only speak in German. And I'd only learned German in the last year, so I was speaking in baby language, baby German. And I was supposed to be doing all this business shit. So yeah, it wasn't good. Right. I think that's not going to budge now. Right, okay. Okay. So, let's carry on. I'll put another coat on. With me on this video for a while, then thank you. I'm really grateful for that. Honestly, this stuff is setting. Oh God, it's setting. So I'm gonna have to move my ass a bit. Okay. It's you can see it's gelling. Not good, because now I've got like snotty lumps, uneven snotty lumps. So God damn it. Okay, I'm just gonna go to town with the goo and just dump it and hope that the Protocasting can even it all out for me, because I'm out of time with this. you know, I don't want to screw this mold up, but I kind of got no choice now. I'm just gonna, okay. Right, let's see the other side. Ha! Get this side done. Okay. It's like snot. It's setting already. See. I've been online for like an hour, and the pot life is an hour on this stuff. But even when it's snotty like that, it still slumps. So I still have to Protocast it for like another hour, because otherwise I'll end up with a slumpy mold with, yeah, it's not good. So I have to just dump all of this on and, oh, I put way too much on now. God damn it. Ugh. Okay, let's set this off again. Ah, shit, it's doing that again. Okay. Please go on, please go down. Oh, right. Okay, try the other way. Oh, shit. Oh, phew. Oh, it's working. Right, okay, get back to this other thing I was making. All these little fiddly bits I'm doing. Right, once I've got this done, ah, shit. Yeah, this is too thick now to get the little lines I need. Yeah, it's not gonna do it. I'll have to do another load of silicone. Okay, fine. Maybe I can just get another layer. I don't know. Oh. Okay. Oh, whoops. There we go. Come on. This silicone, even though it's gelling, I'll tell you now, it's really cool the way it self-levels. Come on. Another way I do it is when it's gelling, I contact the surfaces together and then pull out a string, and then I can, yeah, pull it across. And it will self-level, even when it's gelling. It will kind of smooth out. However, this is getting a bit dodgy. So what I'll do is, I will just spread it a bit. And then I'll move on to the next molds that I'm finishing off. So, because this is only for the adapters. So this doesn't have to be, this isn't like a critical part. I just have to remake the molds. Right. Bit more. Okay. Perfect. Right. Now. Okay. Next bit. Right. I'm doing this in the sink. I've run out of workspace. Oh, I've run out of workspace, and because I'm using the entire kitchen here. So this is nice. When it gets this thick, I can butter it on, and I have to make these slip molds. This is what I'm making at the moment. I'm making slip molds. I have to make them reasonably thick so that they hold their shape while I'm pouring the silicone prototypes. So I use this for prototype molding, and from the prototypes I make the final version with the hard molds and the injection system. And I must remember to post this video in a silicone toys making group I found on Reddit, because I want to get to know some of you guys who do this stuff from home. Oh God, it's done it again. I don't even know how many minutes that was this time. It's oh God. It's yeah, I need to, come on, you can do it. Oh, there's a big snotty there. And then I'll carry on and butter my mold, my slip molds. So when I'm doing this work, there's like 5 different things I'm doing at the same time. Okay. There's a big snotty. Okay, let's get rid of it. Okay, I'll just stick it out. Oh, you know what's really funny? This wood, when it gets messy, it gets easier to hold things in because the texture and the rubber just grips everything, so it's pretty good. Okay. Nice. So this is becoming nice. So when I do the next layers, it will be really nice. I have nice jackets out of that. Right. Low battery, it's gonna die. Where was I? Oh, I was buttering this lot. Okay. Turn it round. Okay. So yeah, anyway, most sex toys, where is my beaker gone? I lost my silicone, where is it? Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So most sex toys are solid, right? They have a solid cross section. And that was the problem I've always had with them, because they're phallic, they're solid, and I can't use that because I spasm and it hurts, because I will literally bruise myself. Uh-oh. No, it's fine. So I decided to make thin skin, not sex toys, because it was more than that for me. It was an aid to help me regain my personal intimacy. And that meant protecting me from friction, and like sometimes when you are a little bit of a bat cave and no one's been around, your tissue atrophies and thins out and becomes very fragile. No amount of lube is going to protect you from that, and your tissue may be so fragile that it sloughs easily. It's a bit like drinking dried tissue, dried paper. If you can imagine like trying to drink dried paper, what that would do to your throat, it would just slough it off and you'd end up like not being able to swallow, right? Well, that's what was happening with me, so I couldn't really do any penetrative exploration anymore. And on top of that, when your tissue becomes raw from any kind of penetration that causes this raw, almost burning sensation, it leaves you open to the candida fungal type things can set in, because they make use of the anaerobic environment, and it can just like take over. So you have to weigh up whether you want to play with yourself intimately, with whether you want to suffer with rawness in the first 2 days and then thrush or infection for the next 2 weeks. If you do manage to get off and have an orgasm. I have this problem where I spasm, and in addition to the sloughing, I now have a bruised vagina. And I'm walking like a cowboy with a sore vagina, with an upcoming thrush infection, and I just feel like shit. I feel dirty, and I get so frustrated and so angry because I feel like I'm unusable, or I feel like I'm a used toothbrush. And it's just not a good way to live with yourself if you're not comfortable with your own parts. Oh God, here it goes again. Okay, this is at the end of its life. I'm going to stop it here because, oh no, there's another snotty. Okay, oh, where is it? Okay, anyway, spatula. Oh, spatula. Okay. Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter if it looks drippy, but it's easier when you are casting and you're pumping this silicone into the mold. And I have a special system of doing it. It's easier to see that you've got perfect contact when it's completely clear. And if you've got a milky silicone because it's full of air bubbles, then you can't see where you are missing contact or there's an air pocket. So I use the Protocaster to get a perfectly clear jacket. Otherwise, you just got bubbles because you're buttering over the surface, and that's introducing bubbles. And that's shit. Another thing, the inside core of the mandrel, obviously you can't see it now, but inside, when those split molds come apart, the mold is made of a translucent color, which I've made this time of UV green in this case, so that I can see when light is projected on it if the silicone is like a nice set distance all the way around, because if there's contact on the mold at any side, then you've got a thin area, which is a weakness for tearing. So I do that as a visual ability to check whether I'm pumping the silicone in and it's getting even coverage all around the mold, and that the mandrel isn't touching the outer jacket, because I've only got 2mm tolerance on these things. So, well, not even a 2mm tolerance, I have less than a millimeter tolerance because the entire skin thickness is 2mm thick. So, all these techniques I've developed as a result of experimentation failed, pulling out various different types of prototypes that are either too stiff, too hard, too thick. What was this one? Oh yeah, this one was too thick, look, see? And like, sorry, but anyone poking their dick through there, yeah, it's gonna like catch on the bell end or something. So I wanted to make that more of a kind of leafy, thin, alien, you know, membranous kind of thing. So it has to be less than a millimeter. It has to graduate down to a thinner opening. So yeah, this is what I'm doing every day, and not all of them, actually, while I was developing this, most of it was not a success. I have invested thousands into this just to find a way to live, to fix myself, and put it out there and see if it will help others, not expecting that I was going to get the amount of backlash and controversy that I was getting. I was getting a lot of controversy. And it's a really sore issue for some people when you introduce a topic and says, this is going to heal your pain. The people who identify with it straight away, they know what it's going to solve, right? The people that don't identify with it straight away are like, how dare you do that? Like, you know, you selling snake oil, you're not medically qualified to sell anything like this, and you shouldn't be making claims. Well, I'm not making medical claims. I'm simply, it's not medically recognized. For it to be medically recognized, it would have to be prescribed and recommended by a doctor. And I would always recommend that people speak specifically to their doctor or OBGYN about using such a device in case your pain mechanism just doesn't match and it won't be fixed by this device. For me, my pain mechanism was mostly psychological and the sloughing aspect. So if I have a 2mm barrier that's not moving, it's stationary in me, and the man can move in and out, I'm not going to slough. I'm not going to get friction pain. I'm not going to get rawness. And I will protect myself from bruising because it's collapsible and I won't crush someone's dick off. So hopefully he can, So that's why I invented this. I wanted to be able to allow myself to work through my problems and therapeutically over time reconnect with myself. And that was the whole goal. But I put this out there on social media and I've had to babysit the threads, which just blew up. I had 15,000 visitors in my website in like 3 days and crashed the website and had to upgrade bandwidth and blah, blah, blah. And people are so triggered. They're triggered from the mention of pain, sexuality, inclusion, feeling excluded, whether they're trans. They're triggered by misogyny when people say men can have vaginas too, which yeah, they can, but most of my audience are also triggered females, traumatized women who have experienced misogyny, and they do not want to feel like me talking to them is being diluted by saying, but men too, and validating men. So you can see where I've had to learn new language to adapt around that and keep everyone happy. And honestly, it's stressing me out. It's stressing me out because all I wanted to do was fix myself and offer that to other people and just make it beautiful, make it an art. And, give people the opportunity to role play their problems away and, be a monster man-eater if they wanted to. Or feel a bit more affirmed, I'm a woman and I don't even like my own body. I mean, that sucks. And to overcome that, I have to put a mask over the ugliness I perceive myself being. And it's fun. It means I can now go in the bathtub, play with my phone, look at myself in the mirror and go, hey, look at that, that's funny. I can laugh at myself now, but before I couldn't even look at myself. So yeah, this is cool. I'm really proud of what I'm doing. And okay, I'm gonna go now because I've got a lot of stuff to do. I have now got some polishing and grinding to do, mold trimming and casting resins, and yeah, I'm gonna go now. Okay,